Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and I've decided that I'm going to work on this journal today, and I want to try to make some different things to go in it. I've got lots of ephemera already made up. I did do some fussy cutting, which is way out of my norm because I don't like to fussy cut. But I needed to get those done, so I did. Now this is the W journal, and I have not stitched the signatures in because someone asked could I stitch the signatures in on camera, and I said of course I can. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use our Ease journal tool to do it. Just making sure I have everything in there. I think I do. Now this is the Ease journal tool. I tell everybody this is the best thing that's happened to me since sliced bread. I like it anyway. Okay, first I'm going to make sure that I've got all of my pages the right way up, because I'm bad about putting them the wrong way up. I think I do. I think I've already checked it. Now I've only got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 pages for each signature, and this journal holds 3 signatures. So that's going to be plenty. I don't need any more than that. So let's take a peek at the other one. Yep, that looks good. And then the middle one, or the last one. And that looks good also. And if you missed me making this cover, it will be over on my YouTube channel. I'll try to remember to link it below, but if I forget, all you have to do is just go back a couple of weeks and you'll see where I made the cover. It may not even be a couple of weeks. It may be a lot sooner than that. Now I am going to find my center page, and I could do this before I put it in there. See, I'm so anxious to put it in there. I'm going to go ahead and clip these because it just makes it a lot easier when you start stitching or when you start punching your holes, that you've got them clipped in so that they don't slide around. So this is going to be my first one. So I'm going to stitch it in like that. This is my front cover, is it not? I always like to make sure that, especially on these journals. Yes, that's my front cover. So I'm going to put it down in there. And even though I've got those other 2 signatures back here, it's not going to hurt a thing. It's going to go in this tool the same way. So I just line up the ends. Now this is 9 inches and this tool is 9 inches. So it's perfect for doing this. And then I can see my hole right here. I can see my holes here. That's a 2.5, that's a 3, 2.5 and 3. And on a 9-inch journal, I put the center and then 3 and the center and 3. So now if you want to, you can clip all this to the journal. I don't normally do that, but you can. So I can see my hole, and I'm just going to punch that down through there. Punch that one. Go down and punch that one, and see it goes through very, very easy. No problem. There's my holes. I'm going to go ahead and grab some thread. Let's see. I think we'll just use this brown thread maybe. Yeah. I think I've already got one of these open up there, but oh well. I've got that one now. I'll eventually use them all up, so it doesn't matter. Now this is a pretty big needle. I like to do a smaller needle in some of these, so just make sure that your needle has a blunt end. Don't use a needle that's not blunt ended. See, that one has a blunt end, so that one would work right there. But I think I have one that's a little bit bigger. And yes, I do stick my finger to make sure that they're blunt ended. Usually I can tell by looking at them. Yeah, that one's it right there. Okay. See, it's a little shorter, but it has a very blunt end, and it has a big eye, and that's what I want. Now, I know this may be repetition to a lot of you who do journals all the time or who have watched me for a long time, but keep in mind that there's always new people that like to start their journaling adventures, and so I like to help those. Plus, this will be one of the classes that will be taught on my new blog that I have got going. So I'm trying to just go a little bit slower, take it easier, so that anybody that's new to this, they don't have to worry about keeping up. I need to pull a little bit more thread through. Okay, and then you go back in the center. So I went out through the center, back in through the top hole, and then I'm going back into the center, and I'm just going to make sure that that my needle comes up on the opposite side of this thread. So see, there's a thread going all the way down. I have a thread here and a thread over here. And I'll just pull that nice and tight. And my outside looks good. I always check the outside, because one time I didn't check the outside and I got it all stitched in, and then I realized when I closed it up, I realized I had something stitched into the signature that I didn't mean to. So always check the outside. Okay, you can see that looks great. So that one is stitched in. Now we can move on to the second one, which is this one. Just find your center. I think it's this one. Yep, it's that one. And then I'm just going to put it down in there and just kind of center it up from top to bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to clip all of that together. Don't have to, but I'm just going to clip it so that it'll kind of stay out of my way. And then I just make sure I look at the end, and I make sure that that little curve, that my little fold there is evened up with this curve. And that's all you're looking for. Put it back down in here, even it up on each end, and then do my stitching. Now, don't worry about this going all the way down to the bottom of this, because when you push it, when you push this all in there, it's going to push it all the way down. See? Did you see how it pushed it? And then that one, it pushes each one of them. And I think I actually did a 2.5 on this one, but that's going to be okay because I'm going to cover the spines with lace anyway, so it doesn't matter. When I'm talking, I forget what I'm doing sometimes. I think on the other one I did 3 and this one 2.5. That's okay. Alright, I'm going to go out through the center. Whoops. Just fell right out there, didn't it? I'm going to go back in up here. Okay. And then all the way down, back through there. And you can see that's, the holes came out right in the spine, and that's what you want. And then we're going to put it right back through the center hole. And make sure that your threads are on opposite sides of that thread that goes down, and mine are. Okay. Then I'm going to pull it tight. Look back here, and that looks good. And go ahead and tie this up. Now this is stitched with waxed thread, so waxed thread does not easily come loose. It's usually there to stay once you tie it, so I just tie it in a double knot. So we've got these two done. All we need to do is this one. Okay, just gonna make sure it's lined up as best I can. No perfection, as you guys know. I always say there's no perfection in crafting. You do, you do, and I do my do. Oh, man. Alright, then we're going to sit that down in there. It's evened up. Going to go ahead and punch our holes. And I'm going to do this one at 3. Like I said, I'm going to cover the spines anyway, so it's not going to matter that one is at 2.5 and one's at 3. They're still going to hold with no problem. Now, we do have the wax thread. We have the awl. If I remember, I will link these. These are really good for holding your pages in your journal. I like the clips, but sometimes the clips can get caught up. Your thread can get caught up in the clips. So I started using these big paper clips, and I love them. Okay. That one down through there. And we've got it done. I'll put that on the opposite side. Put my needle back in there so I won't lose it. And I leave my strings a little bit long because I normally tie charms on mine. So, alright, that looks good. And all you have to do now is just tie a double knot. And there we go. Okay, all of our signatures are stitched in now, and we are ready to embellish. Look at this. We'll just flip. We won't flip through each page, because I did that, I think, when I chose the pages. But look, they're all in here. I love it. This is one of my favorite journals to make. Now, it takes longer and it takes more supplies, but it's one of my favorites to make because I just love how it's shaped. I love that. So now we can, since you saw that, know how to do that now, we can do a little bit of embellishing. I've got a little bit of glue right there that's bugging me. So I'm going to use my eraser. I'm just going to pull that off. There we go. It's gone now. Okay, now we have a pocket right here. And I want to leave that a pocket. So I'm going to want to cover this and then cover this. But I think I'm going to let these be closed with a magnet. What do you think? We haven't done that in a while. Let's do a magnet. Let me grab my magnet. I've got little boxes of everything everywhere, and I forget where everything is. I forget which box I need to look in. Okay, these are our basic gray magnets. They're very, very thin, and they're good for things like this. Now, let's see. We could put it on the inside of this. I think I'm just going to put it on the outside. And I may put 2. Yeah, I think I'm going to put 2. Just trying to decide about where I want to put it. I'm going to put one right there. That's a negative, so we'll drop that on there. We also have the large ones too. They're that size. I'm not sure if in the other journal if I closed this with a magnet or not. But I just felt like this one I would, because I may stuff a lot of goodies in there. Now we need another negative. These have the negative and the positive little signs on them, so you know which is which. Now we need to put our magnet on here and then cover it with paper. And then this magnet, I'll show you how we're going to cover it, and you won't even see it. So we're going to peel this little sticky backing off, and I think I'm going to pull it off of both if I can get a hold of it. There we go. That stuck to my finger. So then you're just going to press this down just like you would be closing it. Press it down really well right on those magnets, and then whoops, And just open it up. And you know what? Don't press it down with that sticky on there like I did. It came up, but it could have really messed up, Edith. So now we're going to cover this with some paper. I didn't even think about that. Sometimes my brain doesn't work exactly right, you know? It goes off the opposite end. I've got some scraps, so I think I'm going to try to use some of my scraps. Just see how it goes. I think we might use that right there. Sometimes my brain is in a fog. I'm slowly but surely catching up on all of my journal making. I know you guys have been waiting a while on some of these, and I appreciate your patience. It has been, you know, I would have had them finished probably a long time ago, but I took some time off with my kids and just done some different things over the summer, and I don't regret any of those. I'm glad I did. But it did put some things that I need to do behind. So, but now it's coming up on winter and fall season. So I won't be traveling. Well, I've got one more trip with them, and that will be in December, but that won't be all week. It'll just be a couple of days. And I started not to go on it, but they're going to be gone on Presley's birthday. And Presley's going to be going with them, so I'm not going to miss my grandbaby's birthday. They're going to have her little party up there, so I definitely will be going. Already got my room reserved. Okay. So then I just trimmed around that, and then I'm going to put... Now where your magnets are, you may need to press it down a little bit more around those. You could have slid them down just a little bit more, but sometimes when you got an opening here, if you pull them too far, they interfere with your opening. So just make sure you put lots of glue on it and it'll be fine. It will be just fine. You may have to put a little bit more glue down in there, but if you do, that'll be okay too. Okay, so there is that. And now we want to cover this. It's not quite long enough. I want to cover it with something that kind of goes with this over here. That would be very pretty, wouldn't it? Let's just do that. So the way I'm going to do this, let me move some of the things around here. I'm going to open this up, pull that down a little ways there, till I get to my little spine piece or little curve. And then I'm going to take my pencil, I think, yeah. And don't worry, I've got plenty of other pencils, so if this one runs out, I've got more. Whoops. And I just pushed that up with my belly. Yep, I did. There we go. Now, if we put that on there, like, yeah, that'll work. Now, if you have a paper that's got a direction, just make sure that you turn it the right way when you draw the line. Mine's not really too directional, I don't think. And then I just cut on the inside of my line that I drew. Sometimes it works perfect, and sometimes I have to go back and trim a little bit more. Looks like I'm just going to need to trim a little bit on this end. Because, you know, envelopes are they're not all uniform either, so how are you guys today? I did a little video right before this one, and I will have it up right after this one, and I'm showing some Happy Mail that I got and some birthday cards and all of that. There we go. I had somebody who said that they absolutely loved my story time, and my problem is sometimes I completely forget about them, and then all of a sudden I'll be doing a video and I remember. So you never know when you're going to get a story out of me. Yeah, I'm not the world's best at remembering all the things that transpired in my life when I was young. And I'm up at this little blue one on here. I'm going to try to fold it without having to get my scoreboard out. Since it's small, maybe I can. Yeah, being raised with 4 boys, it was never a dull moment around my house. And I was the little sister, so you can just use your imagination to figure out what all transpired. I always got the raw end of the stick. Well, until I got a little older, and then I realized how I could get them back. So when I got a little bit older, of course I was my daddy's baby girl, you know. So when I got a little bit older, I would start telling on them. I would tattletale. And I'd be like, Daddy, they done so-and-so. Or they said so-and-so. And then I'd say, but you can't tell them that I told you because they'll beat me up. which they would. And he'd say, oh no, they're not going to lay a hand on you. Just wait till I get a hold of those boys. Oh my word. Yeah, I was a little demon when I was younger, when those boys, I got back at them all I could. And now we all laugh about it, but it was funny there for a while. I think I want a taller tag in there. Yeah. Now, a lot of these tags are not embellished. Whoop, I was putting 2 or 3 in there. Most of them are not embellished yet. I will do the embellishing and putting the little ribbon on and all that at a later date. Right now I'm just going to slide them in there. And then we'll come back and I will also put something on the little pocket there. Let's see. That could be some good writing room. We may leave that. I don't know. I'll think about it. When I go through my final time, normally if things are looking a little sparse or if I feel like I need to add more, I do that at that time. So it's not set in stone when I do something like this. Now these are envelopes that just open up. You could glue the sides if you wanted. So I thought I might just clip some of these on. See, I'd like that. But we do need to cover the inside, I think, because, you know, the inside's just white, and I'm not a fan of white like that. I like to have something on it. Let's see. I have to remember I got that little bit of white around the edge. Not go all the way. So what are you guys up to? Is everybody doing good? Thank you guys so much for all of the digital orders that you have been giving us lately. That really helps a lot. And we have got quite a few lately. I can't stand that thing up now. And I appreciate it. And the print and ship, we've got quite a few of those. And I have been printing those and getting them out to you. Now we've got some good writing paper on the inside. And these are just some of my background pages that I print sometimes, and I might print them wrong for somebody, and so I just keep them and I use them myself. Now, I'm not great about cutting this, so I may speed this part up. I have to go very slow around that or I end up cutting a point off or something. Now this collection is from Rach and Bella Crafts, and I will try my best to remember to link their Etsy store below, but if I don't, all you have to do is go to Etsy, type in Rach, R-A-C-H, and Bella, B-E-L-L, I think it's E, Crafts, and you will find their Etsy store. This was from one of the collabs that I did with her probably last year maybe, or first of this year, I'm not sure. Now, don't fold this yet. Don't. But I am. You know I fold before the glue gets dry. I always do. I just like it. No, I just don't like to wait. That's my problem. Okay. So now, that is a good little clip-on envelope that has plenty of writing room. And I think we will clip it on this way. Yeah. And I'm just going to use the little Tim Holtz paper clips. There we go. So that one is finished. I love that. That's that old typewriter paper from way back when, a long time ago. I think I want a pocket or something here. I'm going to go with that one, I think. And was one of the journaling cards, I think, but I'm going to use it as a pocket. And someone asked, was we still shipping art glitter glue? And the answer is yes. At this moment, we are. Because the weather is unseasonably warm everywhere that I have seen. We probably wouldn't ship it to Canada, maybe. Some places in Canada. Just because some places are already having snow. We might not ship it to some of the mountain states that are having some snow. But, yeah, south, anything in the south, we're shipping. So if you need to get art glitter glue stocked up for the winter, go ahead and do it now. As a matter of fact, I have another order coming in because we're almost out because a lot of people have been stocking up. Now, I think I'll put her there since that looks like a house and she looks like a cook. So, and then, see, I can't stand to leave pages that are undone, so I need to put something on them. I have the need to put something on them. To me, that looks like it's undone. It may not be, but it looks like it, and I like that. This is another one that could be a journal card or a pocket. We're just going to use it for a pocket. I was trying to think of a story that I could tell y'all while I'm doing this, because I know this is repetition to a lot of you people, and you may not want to watch it, so I thought I might give you a story to entertain you, but I don't really have, I can't, you know, they have to be on my mind. I can't just dream them up, or I wouldn't tell it right if I did. So I can't really conjure up one right now. That one's cute. And then I will put some of our vintage letters behind these. I told y'all the one about me stealing money from my brother, didn't I? Did I tell y'all that one? I thought I did. Yep, I told you I was a little beast when I was young. I don't know if I told you or not, but I'll tell you again, just to be a little bit of an entertainment. I was maybe 4 and 5 year old, something like that. And my brother, my oldest brother, he's like 18 years older than me, so he was already working, you know, public job and everything, but he was still at home. He wasn't married. So I was always fascinated with money, always have been. I guess that's why I went into accounting. I've always been fascinated with money and coins and things. So he would bring home, you know, he would come in at night and he would empty his pockets on the chest. We had a big chest that most all of us kept all of our clothes in because we were very, very poor. We didn't have a lot of furniture. So he would come in at night and he would take his change out of his pocket and lay it on the top of that chest, and then he would, you know, get his bath or whatever, and then the next morning he would pick that change up and put it back in his pocket and go back to work. Well, I got to watching that little episode of him doing that kind of thing. And I thought, well, this might be a way for me to get some money. Get some change, because I never had any change. You know, Mom and Dad, us being so poor, they never had any money to give me. I never, you know, I was only 5, so I couldn't earn any money. So I thought, this might be a good idea, Edith. So we had this old radio. If you ever seen one of those old, I wish I still had the thing. It was an old radio. It was about this big, and it sat on that chest. So when he would empty his change out there at night, well, Edith would take a few coins and slide them up under that radio. Just a few. I didn't want him to miss all of it. You know, I was smart enough to know that I couldn't put all of them under there. So I'd slide a few up under there. Well, the next day he would, you know, get ready for work and leave out. And once he left out, well, I would go and collect my earnings, collect my money. That went on for a long time, and I ended up having a good little collection of funds. Well, I never thought, you know, I thought I had got away with it all. Didn't think for 1 minute that he had any clue that I'd done that. Never mentioned it. I never mentioned it. Nothing was ever said until we both got older. Well, when we both got older and he got married and I got married, and, you know, we was I think he was at my house one day and we was talking, he and his wife, and we was talking, and I said, we was telling about things that we did when we was kids. And I said, and you had no clue that I was stealing from you all those years. And he said, oh, yes, I did. I knew exactly what you was doing. I said, you did? He said, yeah, I knew you was sliding that change under the radio. He said, do you not think that I knew how much money I had? He said, you know, I didn't earn a lot, so I knew exactly how much money I had. And he said, I got to realizing every morning that there would be a little bit less change there than the day before. So he said, I knew it. I said, well, why didn't you tell on me, or why didn't you say something to me about it? He said, no problem. He said, I figured if you could live with it, I could live without it. I said, all of these years, I've carried the weight of that on my shoulders that I stole from you, and now you're telling me that you knew it all along. He said, yeah, I knew. He said, but I wasn't going to say anything to you, because he said, I knew you didn't have no money any other way. I said, well, you know, I was 5. What was I going to buy? I said, I just liked the fact of change laying there, and I wanted some of it. But anyway, yeah, I said, well, I probably owe you some money. I probably owe you probably about $20 or $30 from the little nickels and dimes that I stuck under that radio. He said, we'll just call it even for all the bad stuff that I did to you. So, yeah. So he knew it all along. And all those years I thought, oh, he don't know. He has no clue, and I've got away with it. He knew. He did. So that's a little short one, but it was a funny. I told y'all, I'm not the sweet person y'all think I am. I'm a mean person. Oh, my word. But we laugh about that today. I'll go up, be around him or something, and I'll say, you going to put any of your change down anywhere? And he'll say, no, not as long as you're in the house, I'm not. And then quietly he'll say, you little thief. Oh, Lordy. We were something else. I don't know how my mom and daddy ever stood all of us. They probably just ignored us most of the time, I figure. Said, well, if they get hurt real bad, I guess somebody will come calling. Because we would hurt each other, we would. I've got scars to prove it, and so do they. I'm just putting some little side tucks on here. I really don't, I want a big long belly band, but I don't think I even made a belly band out of all these things that I made. So I'm going to skip probably a couple of pages so that I can put a belly band on. And then we'll love that together. That looks good. Let's use that for a pocket. And most of these I have covered the back, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. I did this the day that the power was out and I couldn't do anything else, so I did all this ephemera for this journal. Thought I'd be that much ahead. So yeah, let me hear some of your stories. I know I haven't answered any messages on YouTube for a few days. I will catch up one day, but I do read them because they come through to my email, and when they hit my email, I always look at them and read them to make sure that it's not, you know, some kind of scam, because, you know, scammers do come on our YouTube channels a lot. So I always read them just to make sure that it's not a scammer. I just don't go over to YouTube at that moment and make any changes or talk to you or anything like that. Whoops, I threw that one in the floor. I had to pick that one up. So yeah, leave me some funnies that you did or that happened to you when you was growing up. I know I'm not the only one out there. Oh, I like that blue together. Even though it's blue, 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 I love it. And I think I'm just going to make this a side tuck. I'm going to clip a little bit off right there. And then we'll just glue the bottom. And, ooh, up through there. Oops. I don't know, I might be the only one that did any bad stuff. I could very well be. Now there's a pocket here, and I'll probably put some things in there if I don't get it too chunky. On the last one I left that open to put some things in there, but I had that last one so chunky I couldn't fit anything in there. It was too full. So now we're on the second signature, and you know, I made these the other day on the video. I thought I might glue that right there, and then it will open up and reveal these pockets that you can put little cards in. So we'll just glue this back. There we go. So that opens up. We can put little cards here, and then there's also a place behind that we could, I think, let's see. Yes, we could slide a little card like that. I don't know if that'll be the one that stays there, but I'm going to leave it there to show that I do have a little pocket there. Because if I don't, I'll forget about the pocket. And then I'm going to glue this to make a little pocket at the bottom. And then I will come back and add something on here, either lace or a piece of paper. I don't know right yet. And then we'll put some goodies in there. You know, we've got all of these little cards that we can just slide bunches in here. Bunches and bunches. Because I made all of them, every one of them. I like that. And let's see. I think I might put one of something right here. One of something. I don't mind that with this blue. It's a little corner tuck. We're going to have lots of corner tucks in this one, but I think it'll be good because of the way it's made. If my brother knew that I had told about that on video, he would probably strangle me. Nah, he wouldn't, because I didn't give any names. I didn't give out any names of the innocent. Just my name, the guilty party. Oh, me. He's still a mess. I think I want something a little brighter there. That looked a little dull. What about this one? Oh, I like that and that. I probably already used some of these. I don't know if I've duplicated them or not. But I'm not too stickler about that. As long as I don't put them on the same page, I'm not too stickler about it. Some people don't even like to use the same paper in a journal twice. I don't have time to check all that out, and I sure can't remember it. I try not to, but if I accidentally do, It's just there. That one is a coffee dyed page, so it's really gonna have to stick down. They don't like to hold the glue as well as the other ones. And then we can, this is another one of those little flip outs, and that will tuck in there. And I don't know if I'm going to do it right now because that glue may still be wet. No, maybe not. I think it'll be okay. I'll come back through and check them out anyway. So I'd like to have a side tuck here, but I don't have a side tuck. Goodness, it's a loud truck rolling by. I don't know what that's all about. We could clip that on there. Let's see what other one we've got. We got this one. We could clip it on. My goodness. That actually sounds like it's coming up my driveway. What do we think? I don't mind that one clipped on, and we could even put another little pull on the other side since we're clipping it on. Let's just do that. I've got a couple of pins in here that are not Tim Holtz, and they're hard to get on. The Tim Holtz are real easy, but I've got some that I have had for a while, and they don't clip on as easy. Yeah, and then that sticks out the top, and I like that. Okay, and then we've got this page that I love the writing on, even though it is a recipe page, but I love that writing and I like this. So I don't think I'm going to cover that up. The person that receives this can choose whether they want to cover it or not. They'll have plenty of goodies if they want to. There's lots of things in here. Because all of this that's left over, I'll send with the journal, so there'll be plenty. Let's see. I don't know if I want to put the yellow on the yellow or not. I may end up having to make some pockets. I thought I had plenty of pockets, but I don't think I did. Oh, I like that there. I made more tags and journaling cards than I did pockets. And usually it's just the opposite. I usually make more pockets than I do tags. I have an exciting journal coming up that I'm going to be starting. Well, I've started it. I just haven't done the cover yet. And it's going to be, it's for a person that's already purchased it. And it's going to be one like I have not made in many, many years. So you'll have to make sure that you hang around for that one. It probably, I don't know, I may get it done sometime this week. Not get it finished, but I mean get the video up. I've got lots of editing to do on it because it's actually, that's too matchy-matchy. It's actually a pretty big journal. It's got 4 signatures in it. And it's a hardcover, so it's going to be a biggie. And I need to get on that cover so I can get that one finished. Now I will put a little extension on that page, but I'm not going to do that right now. And then we've got this page again. I don't really know what I would like on that page. See, I put a clipped piece on the other one, so I could put this on this one. I hope I'm staying in frame. The other night when I was editing, I realized that I was a little bit high, and I don't know if my camera had changed a little bit, because I don't take my camera off and on. It stays where it is, but sometimes it'll, the tripod thing that it's on will kind of go down a little bit, and I have to readjust. But I didn't notice that it had done it, so hopefully I'm in line like I need to be. We'll put that in there. Just for now. This is some of the prettiest paper. I love it. Okay, we're going to put something on this guy. This is a coffee dyed sheet, and I'll have to tell you the story on this one. There is a story on this one too. This is a coffee dyed sheet that I that was sent to me from Triple V Vintage on Etsy, and I'll try to link their store below. I love their coffee dyed paper. Well, you look at it and you go, wow, you like that? Well, this is not how it looked. This is how it would have looked. But you remember back three or 4 years ago now? How long has it been? 4 years maybe? When we had the flood in our house, when we were on vacation. We was gone for a week, and 5 days into our vacation, some friends of ours came by to bring in some packages, and when they came in, they said my house was totally flooded. All downstairs was standing in water like this deep. Our refrigerator line had ruptured, and so it had been spraying water for who knows how many days. Well, they had been bringing packages to we have a drop box outside our door, and they had been bringing packages to the drop box, and that day they brought them all in. Well, this package was in there, and they didn't put it in the floor or anything. They put it on the table where it should have been safe, but somehow during the flood and, you know, workers going in and out and whatever, this package ended up down in the water. So when it ended up down, I almost cried, because they had sent this to me for me to review, and I mean, I didn't purchase it. They sent it out of the goodness of their heart. Well, I opened it up, and every page was just ruined. I mean, it looked like this. All the coffee had smeared on it. There wasn't any beautiful papers like, you know, she does such beautiful work. I know you've seen one over here a minute ago somewhere, but you guys have seen her work before. But anyway, I said, I'm not throwing those away. I'm using them. I'm going to keep them, and I'm going to use them regardless. So I am. I use every one of them. I love them. Even like this, I love them. So that's kind of the story of that. I mean, there was so much devastation anyway. We had lost everything that was downstairs. TVs, I don't know, our furniture, you know, all of our living room furniture, couch, chairs, everything was just soaked. Everything in my kitchen, all my counters, tops, all of my cabinets were just falling apart. I mean, it was horrible. Very horrible. And for, you know, we ended up hiring the wrong people to redo and gut. Well, the people that come and gutted everything, they were okay. They weren't great, but they were okay. But then the contractors that we hired to put everything back together was not okay. They didn't take their time. They didn't do a good job. They wasted a lot of material. Anyway, it was just devastating for Whit and I for months. This is one of her papers right there. Isn't that beautiful? We spent probably the next year walking on just the floorboards, and you could see down under our house. You know, the little floorboards that you have put down first before you actually have the decking put on. Well, all of that decking and everything had to come up. So we lived on just floorboards for the longest, and they had big fans going in the house to dry out what floors that was left, and then they had the big fans under the house to dry out under there, because it took out all of our central air, all of the ductwork, everything was on the ground. So they had those big fans under there, and you could see the lights from those fans under the house through the boards. So we spent almost a year living like that, which, you know, I grew up like that, so it wasn't really a big deal to me. I was used to it. But my husband, he couldn't stand it. But anyway, that's the story on that paper. And I still tear up when I think about it being ruined like that. But I did go ahead and show her package. I just said, you know, it's not her fault. This is how her paper would have looked had I got to it in time. This is how it does look, because I didn't get to it in time. Now that's another one of those little fold outs. Let's see, this one, is it no, this one, okay, Edith, that does fold out. Oh, it's stuck. a little fold out, like a journal on the inside, and we put the pockets on the outside on this one. So I'm not going to put it in that pocket because I don't want to lose that pocket. I'm just going to tuck some things in this. I mean, I don't want to lose my little cards on this one. My little pockets. I'll talk right in a minute. I'm trying to think and look at stuff. I'm just going to tuck a few things in. I may change my mind on some of this, but... And then we'll cover that, of course. I may put it right there. I love that blue on that yellow. Yep, we're going to put it right there. Oh, no, I can't glue that down. I'm going to clip it. We're going to clip it on because it has the little pockets on the outside. So we're just going to clip it. Oh, don't like that clip. Now the clips that you buy from us, the Tim Holtz ones, they're the real tarnished looking ones and they're real easy to use. These older ones I've had for a long time and they just don't want to open up. Okay, I like that. So that's that one. And then we've got this signature. Now I think my video might have been going long enough, so I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. We may come back. I may come back tomorrow and do this one. And tomorrow I think I'm going to use these papers and make some belly bands and different things and some flip outs, and we'll come back and add some more in there because there's no way I can finish putting all of them in today. But see, it's getting a little bit chunky, and I love these chunky. I love them. Love them, love them. So there is the start of a W journal, and we will come back and we'll add flip outs and flip ins and flip ups and flip sideways or whatever in probably tomorrow, if at all possible. I've got my grandkids are wanting to go trick-or-treating to a couple of churches, so got to do that sometime tomorrow right before dark, but they want me to take them. I don't know why, but I don't know why they don't want Mom and Daddy to take them. But anyway, we're going to go and do that tomorrow, and I may spook some people. And then I'll try to get the video up, though, before I leave. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.